Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening, YouTube? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels, and today is Monday, May 15th, 2023. We got another rundown video for you guys. Today, we're going to be running through some business news, talking about the economy, real estate, and more. Apologize I missed you guys on Friday. I'd actually made a video on Friday, but I didn't actually get a chance to post the video. I didn't wind up getting home until late Saturday morning. So apologize I missed you guys on Friday. I'm going to try to keep up with the schedule. Should have a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday video for you guys this week. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about in today's video. We're going to be talking about how the markets finished on Friday, how the crypto markets finished on Friday. The education secretary recently came out and said that the student loan pause will end no later than June 30th. So I would guess that maybe he got an early heads up from the Supreme Court about which direction their decision is going to go regarding Biden's student loan forgiveness executive order. Guessing it's not going to wind up going through. We got a bunch of other stories. Walmart is beginning to arrest shoppers who steal from self-checkout. We got the border crisis going on down along the U.S.-Mexico border, especially in El Paso. We got office vacancies in Chicago, L.A., and New York hitting record highs. We got a new CEO of Twitter. I had actually meant to mention that on Friday's video, but I didn't wind up getting that one out. And I had kind of a crazy personal anecdote real estate story for you guys as well. And I'll just kind of launch. Before we get into that, I guess we'll do the markets first, and then we'll kind of talk about that. So first off, sometimes I give some show recommendations, YouTube channel recommendations, movie recommendations. Saw an awesome movie over the weekend, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Really, really good movie. Highly recommend checking it out. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's video is Reversion. Reversion is a affiliate marketing platform. If you guys have a Shopify store, you can set up Reversion. Really doesn't even matter if it's Shopify. Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magenta. Reversion is an affiliate management platform, meaning you can get people to sign up for your affiliate program through Reversion. It will track their sales. They can create unique affiliate links to individual products on your site, and it'll track when somebody they sent to your website gets a sale, so you know to pay them out. And then at the end of the month, whether you got 12 affiliates or 1,200 affiliates, you can pay them out easily with just a few clicks, paying them out through PayPal. Also, if you are an affiliate marketer yourself, they have a nice affiliate network, kind of similar to a Share a Sale or a CommissionJunction.com, where you can sign up and register and view and look at all different types of affiliate programs for different niches that you might be interested in signing up for. Let's kind of jump into the markets, and I'll kind of tell my little real estate story here. I think today's video might have to be kind of a quick one, so we'll try to blow through this pretty quickly. On Friday, the Dow finished down slightly, down 0.27%. Nasdaq finished down 0.14%. And the S&P 500 finished down around 0.14% as well. As far as crypto, BNB still holding above $300, sitting at about $312. When I had pulled the notes for this the notes for this story yesterday, so BNB manages to hold above that $300 mark. Most cryptos on the 7-day are down like 5 to 8%. Bitcoin down to 26,889. Ethereum at 1807. And again, for the moment, BNB still holding above that $300 mark. One of my favorite crypto YouTubers is Brian Phobos. He hasn't put out a video in a while, but he actually put out a video over the weekend. So check that one out. He was kind of talking about how insecure the banks are right now and how crypto might be a good place to be. And I always enjoy his videos, always enjoy his insights. So I'm always kind of excited when he puts out a video. And normally he does them in streaks, so keep an eye on his channel. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more videos in the coming days. This is kind of a big story, right? We haven't really heard much about the student loan pause for a while. But the education secretary came out, I think toward the end of last week or over the weekend, and said that the student loan pause will end no later than June 30th. So I'm guessing he probably got a heads up from the Supreme Court in terms of what direction things are going to be going. Started making plans to resume payments and wanted to give people a little bit of a heads up that payments are going to be starting again. Now, he says that the student loan pause will end no later than June 30th. But he says they want to give people plenty of time to kind of get ready and adapt their budgets. So there's going to be at least 60 days before payments start again. The date that I'm seeing thrown around is October 1st as the first payment. That would actually be closer to 90 days. If it's 30 days, it would probably be around August 30th or the beginning of September. A lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, this is going to collapse the economy. I mean, real talk, it's not going to be great for the economy. 43 million Americans having an extra $400 payment a month, $600 payment a month, $1,000 payment a month. Not going to be great for the economy. The people who are going to struggle the most are people who have student loans but didn't actually finish college or aren't actually using their degree and didn't actually get a high-paying job with their degree. But a lot of these people who have student loans are people who got college educations and have high-paying jobs. And maybe they won't be able to take that extra vacation or get new granite countertops, but they're going to be fine paying the bill. Next story. This is actually an old story, but I've been seeing similar stories pop up recently as Walmart is beginning to arrest shoppers for stealing at self-checkout. Do you guys like self-checkout or do you guys hate self-checkout? If you like self-checkout, drop a number 1. If you hate self-checkout, drop a number 2. And I would say kind of where I fall in this self-checkout versus no self-checkout argument is I don't necessarily mind self-checkout being there as long as you still have actual cashiers. It's annoying to go to a business where they only have self-checkout and you have somebody with like a grocery cart overflowing with hundreds of items and they're taking 45 minutes to go through the self-checkout, tying up the whole thing, and there's no cashiers to go through. But Walmart is beginning to arrest shoppers for stealing from self-checkout. One thing that I've heard that Walmart and a lot of these other stores do, they'll let you get away with stealing a couple times just so that they can kind of build a case, and so the amount of money that you steal becomes, over a certain amount of money, and then I think it becomes like larceny instead of shoplifting or something like that. But then again, we see cities like San Francisco and Seattle where you can just walk out of the store with $999 worth of stuff and nobody cares and the police won't arrest you. I think one of the other biggest stories going on right now is this border crisis. That Title 42 ended. We saw, I think 15,000 people poured through the border last Friday. I think like in the past week, I forget the amount, but it's literally tens and tens and tens of thousands of people who poured through the border. At one point, they were issuing people basically like citations to show up for court or show up at this office. But there were so many people coming through the border that eventually they started giving people like court dates to appear in 2027, 2028. I mean, at that point, somebody's been here for 3-4 years. And I've heard that it got so bad that they just started saying, basically, just come on in, we'll find you later. Weren't even documenting who was coming in or giving people any paperwork to check up on them later. And this has gotten so bad. A lot of the blue states, a lot of the blue cities, a lot of the liberal mayors and things out there like that around the country have talked about how they want to be sanctuary cities and we should let everybody in. And it's funny, they have that attitude when they're not affected by the border crisis, when, it's just going down in El Paso or down along the border, they don't really mind it. But once the problem starts coming to their city, all of a sudden they have an issue with it. And so we saw Eric Adams came out and criticized Joe Biden, said everything going on at the border is an absolute disaster. He eventually started shipping immigrants on buses up to Canada himself after criticizing Greg Abbott for doing the same thing. Chicago has issued a state of emergency, and on the southwest side of Chicago, they actually had kind of a community meeting, and people are upset. They've had a homeless problem in their community for years. The government hasn't done anything about it. The government isn't helping Americans. Yet as soon as we get some illegals flooding across the border, the government does more to help illegals than they do to help actual American citizens. And I think there was another story out of New York where they were actually kicking veterans out of a hotel to make room for illegal immigrants. Why is it that we're treating illegal immigrants better than we're treating actual American citizens? And even worse, why are we treating illegal immigrants better than we're treating veterans who fought for this country? That's kind of a crazy story. Next story, we got office vacancies in Q1 2023 hit record highs in Chicago, LA, and New York. And Chicago and LA are fighting it out for having the worst office vacancies. And we recently saw a lot of these big tech companies in Los Angeles are giving up their office space, subleasing their office space. We recently saw a skyscraper, and I believe it was San Francisco, that sold for 80% off. I think this was like a $300 million plus skyscraper that wound up selling for about, 50-60 million. We got a new Twitter CEO. Her name is Linda Yaccarino. I think she works for one of the newsroom networks. She's also a member of the WEF. So a lot of people were optimistic with Elon Musk taking over Twitter that it would be a free speech platform and real messages could get out, real sentiment could be heard. But with a woman who's a member of the WEF taking over, a lot of people are really kind of disappointed in that. I thought this was kind of crazy. Automakers such as BMW, Volkswagen, Mazda, and Tesla are removing AM radios from new electric vehicles because electric engines can interfere with the sound of AM stations. And then also Ford, one of the nation's top 3 auto sellers, is taking a bigger step, eliminating AM radio from all of its vehicles, electric and gas operated. That's kind of crazy. Nowadays I kind of mainly listen to podcasts and things like that when I'm driving around, but I've never really liked the FM radio. I never really liked listening to the same 10 country songs or pop songs or whatever over and over and over. So a lot of times I'd turn on art radio, listen to talk radio, or art radio, turn on talk radio, AM radio, and kind of crazy that that's going away. We got a zero hedge story. There goes the U.S. consumer. Credit card data has revealed the first drop in household spending in 2 years as upper income wages tumble, unemployment benefits soar. We've been hearing the consumer is strong, and people are used to consumerism, buying, debt. But eventually, with the ongoing inflation as well as the cost of housing and rent and everything else going up, eventually the consumer is going to be broken, and it looks like that is beginning to happen. In the UK, we got food bank dependency reaches record high. We got another article from The Hedge: food inflation still soaring in Latin America. San Francisco Democrats are pushing to have guns removed from security guards, as if theft and robbery and violence and craziness and chaos weren't bad enough in San Francisco already. Now they want to take guns away from security officers. We got the recession odds have risen to a 40-year high. We got a non-binary character in a new Transformer cartoon that goes viral as people call for another boycott to boycott the Transformer brand. Drug use on the clock is up 23% in the last 2 years. Back during the Mexican beer cough, we heard that over 50% of people reported to drinking on the clock or drinking while working. Well, now we're seeing that in the past 2 years, drug use on the clock is up 23%. In the article I read about this, it said one executive said, nobody can see my red eyes if I smoke weed. So he smokes weed while he's working. And there was also another executive who's an amphetamine user who said if he gets tired, he can just lay down in his bedroom because he's working at his house. We got Dell is calling workers back into the office 3 days per week after pledging that they would be a fully remote company and that would never happen. And surprisingly, the UK is actually leading the way in remote work. I think a lot of people expect that maybe San Francisco, New York, Seattle would lead the way in remote work. The UK is actually leading the way in remote work and has more workers more remote workers than the US and Australia. We got a viral TikTok story going on, one of these viral TikTok trends on overemployment. There's a TikToker named Shakara who shows how to interview and land a job and claims that she's working 4+ jobs from home. And then we got people wondering why remote work is coming to an end. We got Intel plans on layoffs and is going to sell its Austin office. They're also freezing pay raises. Microsoft is cutting more jobs, and we also got State Farm and Wells Fargo to lay off hundreds in Illinois. When we talk about layoffs, a lot of times we hear about the big companies. You hear about the big companies. You buy things from the big tech companies. But if you search the word layoffs and then your state or any state for that matter, you start seeing all these manufacturers are doing layoffs, hospitals are doing layoffs, even school districts are doing layoffs. A lot of people often talk about, tech, real estate, mortgages, they're losing their jobs. But, I work in healthcare or I work in education. My job's never going to go away. We're starting to see those healthcare jobs go away as well. The hospitals want to make more money. They want to be more profitable. So they wind up laying off healthcare workers and nurses. Patient care suffers because you have fewer nurses taking care of more patients, but at least they're able to squeeze more money out. In Michigan, we got a cannabis company who says they're going to hire 400 laid off Burger King workers. I think we talked about a story the other week about how Burger King was closing hundreds of stores and laying off hundreds of workers. Lyft announces they're open to being purchased. And last story of the day, again, I said I got to be pretty quick today. Forbes, why return to office mandates will backfire. This article seemed a little bit sketchy to me on some of these stats they threw out. They said only 6% of people want to work in the office full time. That's just untrue, right? Like I see people, I think in reality it's closer to a 50-50 split, maybe a 60-40 for work from home. But there are people who enjoy working in the office. A lot of people who are earlier in their career feel like they're not going to be trained well, or they're not going to get those mentorship opportunities, or they're not going to get FaceTime with managers or the boss working remotely. They want to kind of get used to working in a real office environment as opposed to going to college to working out of their bedroom. So the idea that only 6% of people want to work full-time seems kind of skewed. It also says only 2 in 10 people are currently working in an office full-time. I find that kind of hard to believe. And then the article went on to say people want the flexibility to pick up their kids, care for ailing parents, etc. So, you know, there's plenty of benefits to remote work, but we have a lot of CEOs, a lot of people coming out saying the idea that people are working as hard from home, you know, it just isn't a reality. There's too many distractions. You have some people working 4 and 5 other jobs while they're supposed to be working at home. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole remote work thing plays out over the next year as layoffs continue to worsen, as more large companies begin calling people back into the office, and as the economy continues to downslide. So that's the story for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Would always love hearing your thoughts, comments, opinions on anything we've discussed in today's video. So go ahead and drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday's video. Guys, later. Peace.